crossing county lines just to make my name in the city. Took everything, put it on the line, cause I never break or back down. One shot is do or die, and the odds ain't looking too pretty. But I got the feeling it's my time. I know I'm taking it now. Price of blood, sweat, and tears, and I never looked for salvation. I worked for this for all these years, and I wouldn't break or back down. No. I fought through all my fears and all of my frustrations. I see the light is getting clear. I know I'm taking it now. It's my time. I'm taking it now.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Dirt Vision is home to the greatest shows on dirt, led by World of Outlaws Sprint Cars, the pinnacle of dirt racing. If you can't be at the track, Dirt Vision is the only place to watch the Outlaws and the most powerful late models on the planet. You also get the Super Dirt Car Series, Dirt Car Summer Nationals, and Extreme Outlaw Midgets. Dirt Vision brings you nearly 500 live races, including weekly racing at America's premier tracks. See them all with a Dirt Vision Fast Pass. There are flexible options so both casual and hardcore fans can live stream races on multiple devices. You also get 2,000 classic races free in our video vaults, along with Dirt Vision QuickTime, off days features, and our 24/7 streaming channel, Dirt Vision Now. Register for free or buy your Fast Pass now at dirtvision.com or on the Dirt Vision app.
World of Outlaws Dirt Racing is available now.
Cut into the hills of southern PA, we head here to Lincoln Speedway, our latest and penultimate round in the 2023 World of Outlaws ButtKicker Late Model Series powered by iRacing. I'm Joe Peak, and with me tonight, of course, we have Terry Radford as always, and this should be a good one, Terry. 3/8 of a mile. It should be a tight little track and keep them on their toes.
Absolutely, and Joe, a.k.a. not Tim Terry Peak, it's good to be in the great state of Pennsylvania for the virtual Lincoln Speedway. Great racing. This is the penultimate round for the World of Outlaw Late Model ButtKicker Series. Man, this one is going to be just as fun as 2 weeks ago because we took a whole off week.
Absolutely, and of course, best wishes to Tim, who's just having a few travel issues, so couldn't be here today. I'm going to do my best to fill those shoes, but obviously, this being the penultimate round, as you mentioned, means that it's really on. They have to perform tonight, and we could see drivers knocked out of contention for the championship. In fact, we probably will see plenty of them knocked out of contention, and then we'll wrap up at the dirt track at Charlotte in a week's time. should be a fun one, no doubt. Speaking of that championship, of course, let's take a look at the points as well. Evan C. is doing pretty steady up there, 82 points ahead. So he could put himself out of reach, but we'll see. Kendall Tucker is the one most likely to try and catch up to him. Logan Rumsey, obviously a little bit more of a distant thought, but still somewhat in there. And then you've got everybody else out of reach, unfortunately. Look at the cut line, though. Got to watch out for that, wanting to make it into the 2024 season automatically. So Tomasi, Buchanan, Augustine, all of them have to be on their toes, make sure that they stay above that line and automatically advance their way through into 2024. Now, Terry, you mentioned a little bit about this place. Why don't you walk us through an introduction to Lincoln Speedway?
Well, this town only has 857 human beings going around it. The track holds way more than that. 6,200 screaming race fans pack into this beautiful racetrack at Lincoln Speedway in Abbottstown, Pennsylvania for the 3/8 of a mile. It was open in 1952 before any of us on this sim world was even thought of. This is where the action is the attraction. So Joe Pig, tonight we got to bring the heat, son, because the racing's going to be hot and we need to be hotter.
Absolutely, and you can see on the track map, and you'll see in some of the shots, the fans won't have to go too far. There's even houses right across the street from this place. Now, for the race itself, we're looking at 8 laps for these heats, and then obviously for the last chance races, it's going to be 10 laps, and then the feature 50 times around this circuit, with it being only 3/8 of a mile. It's going to be tight. Now, let's go through the starting grid for our first heat. Evan C. going to be on the pole with Damian Kiefer in second. Desmond Busby will be starting third with Talon Willis on the outside of that second row. Dylan Wilson will be P5. You've got Brett Caudill sixth, Peyton Stevenson at 7th, and Blake Murray rounds out your 8 taking part in this first heat tonight here. Terry, what are you thinking is going to be some of the critical points for these drivers coming into this race? What are the things they need to focus on?
Well, I think tonight's just going to be, if you're Evan C., conservation mode. You already took the pole. You're looking to set the standard here. You're going into the penultimate round. You've got Charlotte next week. You could potentially, and I mean potentially, lock it up tonight. We don't think that it's going to be a walk away here. There's still some drama that could play out this afternoon, but if you're Evan C., you have to pay attention to that track temp. The update that happened to iRacing, the track is different. The tire is different. All of these dirt racers were worried 2 weeks ago that the build was going to change. It's 98 degrees. The tires, the track are going to wear differently than it did for the past couple rounds. It's 80-degree ambient temp with the wind of 5 miles per hour. The partly cloudy kind of gets me a little bit because we don't know what it's going to do. We do not know what the right rear is going to burn off. We don't know what's going to happen when they go sliding into turn 1. So I think that's going to be the big one. And if you're a guy like Talon Willis, make the show again. If you're Brett Caudill, make the show again. We want to see more names come into the feature race.
Absolutely. Man, you said it earlier. This is going to be a hot one. That you weren't kidding. It looks like it's pretty toasty on the track, which means I anticipate a lot of that moisture is going to be going away rather quickly for these drivers. They're going to have to be searching as we see them take off down the backstretch. 2 pace laps here before we get it rolling for our first heat. Evan C., the man everybody's going to be chasing, hoping to at least put behind them to keep the hopes alive here as they bring it past the front stretch. This is where I was talking about. If you actually go in the sim, you can see they've modeled the houses in here. They go to that much detail here in iRacing.
Oh, they most definitely do. That's why I say every week that iRacing is the greatest place to be in the world. If you want to be a sim racer, if you just want to have some fun, get on iRacing. But hey, let's go Heat 1 racing.
8 laps. It's going to go by very quickly. Evan waiting for the signal from Barney up on the stand as he brings it around 3 and 4. There it is. Green flag is out. Damian Kiefer going to try and follow him down into 1. It looks like he's not quite there soon enough down to the inside. That's Desmond Busby, who's going to get his nose in, but can't quite get it completely underneath. Talon Willis had to think about it, but he's going to slip into 4th.
He's going to slip into 4th, but now you see that battle for 3rd heated up. You saw Willis make a little contact with Busby. The transfer line is in a very red line. You can't miss it between 4 and 5, between Willis and Wilson. Trying to get those names said 5 times in a row. But you go on board here with the Belgrade driver, Brett Caudill. He's back here racing for the 6th place position with Peyton Stevenson. And Peyton and Brett both have not had the season they wanted. They're looking to turn it around here tonight.
This is not a good start for them if that's the case. They're right now squabbling over 6th position out of our 7 starters that we have out on track right now. So well below the cut line. Willis going to be the last to advance currently as we watch from on board Caudill. He did get up into that 6th place over Stevenson. You can see he's already got a bit of a gap just to catch Wilson up in front.
Yeah, you see the battle for the transfer spot between the 80 of Wilson and the 15 of Willis. Those two have been going at it since we started. You saw Willis get to the inside of Desmond Busby just by a little bit, made just a slight bit of contact in turns 3 and 4, but that's allowed these drivers to separate it out. And if you're Talon Willis at this moment, you're just going, hey man, I'm trying to make one. He has only made 2 feature starts this entire season, or 4, I'm sorry, he's made 4 this season. The first 2 and the last 2 we've raced. The whole middle section of this one has not been good as you look backward side of Desmond Busby from Stockton, California.
Yeah, that's Willis currently behind that number 82 in the number 15, trying to chase him down. And right now, I'm sure Busby would prefer to have that little bit of a buffer, especially this tight end. He knows that things are going to get a little bit desperate there for Wilson trying to crack his way through. Remember, this will take you automatically to the feature, though, as checkered flag is out, and it looks like C is going to take the win. It looks like Willis will be the last to advance there in 4th.
It's a good roll. You see Evan C there taking this heat win, starting on the pole this afternoon. Damian Kiefer is going to start there and finish 2nd. Desmond Busby 3rd. Talon Willis, and then you got Dylan Wilson. Brett Caudill, Peyton Stevenson are going to go to our last chance showdown.
So that takes us off to the next one, as well as looks like we've got C ready to talk to us before we get to that. Terry?
Well, Evan C., you take the pole here at Lincoln Speedway. A big thing with the update, and something I kind of wanted to hit on with you, is there a difference and a change between what we had 2 weeks ago at Eldora to what we have here?
Yeah, you can definitely feel a pretty big difference. I didn't get a whole lot of laps on this track before the update, but you can definitely feel a difference, and the cars kind of drive different. I don't know if that's just a track. They made some changes out of track wears in and stuff like that. So like I said, it's pretty different, but you still got to get around the track about the same way, and keep it straight. And I think going pole there set us up pretty good in the heat win. Have a good feature for us.
Well, hopefully we'll be talking to you a little later on. That's the points leader from Chesney, South Carolina, Evan C. Joe Peak.
So Evan obviously sounding extremely thrilled about that heat win as we get ready for this next grid. James Eden's going to be on the pole for this one. Tanner Thomasy is going to be in 2nd. You've got Colton Zimmer starting P3, followed by Dylan Yeager. Caden Honeycutt will be on the inside of row 3. Then it's Jeremy Steele to his outside. Tucker Elkins in 7th, and Logan Herbert in the 8th position. And we get ready to go. Already, I'm seeing the blue groove starting to get worked in here, Terry. It seems like this track is wearing out mighty quick.
Yeah, and that it did not have a rework from our qualifying session over into the Heat 1. So everything that they do from here on out, we potentially will see a rework down the road. But you take a look at the prizes, what all of these drivers want to fight for. Now, obviously, there's a per race payout with $100 or $300 going to the winner, $200 and $100 for our top 3. But the biggest key that everybody wants to fight for is $10,000. Right now, the fight's between 3 drivers in our point standings, with Evan C. holding that one hostage for the time being. We'll see who gets it done, and we'll talk a little bit more prizes as the show progresses. But man, there's a lot on the line for these drivers.
Absolutely, and I mean, 10,000 is not just some pocket change. You think about how many sim racers at the top level are trying to get some experience in real world racing. That could help you get a season going a little bit.
It could also buy you a couple things from the trailer park, maybe a couple PBRs, you never know. But good times can be had with $10,000. But we're going to heat number 2, 8 laps. 4 of these drivers are going to head on to that 50-lap feature. We'll see, can James Eden hold off Tanner Tomasi here for the outside front row? This is, I think this one right here is going to be the heat that we look out for.
Indeed, and as we wait for them to get the green, here it goes right out of turn 4, accelerating away. Edens gets a very good jump, but look at Zimmer down to the inside. Question is, can he get the shot off the corner as the 09 tries to run the high line? Looks like he gets good momentum. He's going to hold off, but just for now.
Yeah, you see right there. We talked to our winner Evan C there about how the track's just driving different. I watched James Eden go in there, and he kind of bounced just a little bit going up the racetrack. You saw it right there with Caden Honeycutt as well. He went from the bottom all the way to the top, couldn't hold that late model all the way down to the bottom. I mean, he's really sliding that thing in there, trying to get all of the money worth out of that number 10. Caden's had a great run, but a lot of these drivers in this field just have not creased where they should be. Maybe a top 10 as we go on board with the Alito Texas driver. He's really sailing it in there. He almost got the back bumper at Zimmer for 4th.
Yeah, and he really needs this. Wow, he is chucking it into turn 1. That's the battle for 4th right in front of him with Steele and Zimmer. So he needs to try and make these positions up. He's trying to do a few things, but so far no success. Kind of needs them, I think, to battle a little bit more.
Yeah, if he gets those drivers side by side with 5 laps to go, you have an opportunity here at Lincoln. You watch any of the sprint car races or Dirt Vision, you watch any of the late model races here, there has always been great battles at the Lincoln Speedway, regardless of what type of car it is. You see the side by side here for that transfer spot. That's Jeremy Steele trying to take it from the 20th Zimmer. You got the lead at the top, you got the race for the transfer at the bottom. Tanner Tomasi has hounded James Eden for about 4 laps, and it's not going anywhere with 2 to go.
Zimmer so far has been crossing the line ahead of Steele there in that battle for the transfer, but he's got to be careful. Steele could try something tricky here at the end. We're at 2 to go. Going to get the white flag this time by Still. High side seems to get the exit off of turn 4.
The high side is starting to get the run. You watch any of the racing on the incredible Dirt Vision app that you can purchase there. You see the battle for the lead. They come through the final sets of corners. Checker flags in the air. James Eden gets it done. He'll start outside front row for the feature race this afternoon.
And Zimmer is going to be the last to transfer through. As here you see the results. Edens, as we said, taking the heat win. Tomasi in 2nd, and Yeager 3rd. Zimmer the last one to make it through. Everybody else, Steele, Honeycutt, Herbert, and Elkins will head off to the last chance showdown. So we'll see them again soon enough, but we'll head to a quick break here, and then after that we'll come back with a quick interview as well.
Call us Outlaws. We don't mind. We're your friends, your neighbors, your co-workers, the stranger you pass on the street. We may walk to the beat of our own drum, but we'll also give you the shirt off our back. We have an unapologetic toughness that can't be denied. We're not just tough. We're outlaw tough.
The World of Outlaws ButtKicker Late Model Series is brought to you by ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Pick up your ButtKicker today at thebuttkicker.com. And by World of Outlaws Dirt Racing. Available on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. Drive like an outlaw.
Terry has caught up with James Eden, so let's get his thoughts on how that second heat went.
Yeah, James, great heat win right there. You're going to start outside front row, one of your best starting positions of the season. What can that number 52 do here at Lincoln Speedway?
Oh, hopefully we can, starting on the outside, we can get a good start. Maybe sneak around Evan there on the first, couple corners. And, I mean, it's going to be tough. Lincoln's, it's tough. It's tight. So we're just going to have to, try to get some clean air early and see if we can hang on.
10-4. Well, pardon me, I've always wanted to do this. And starting outside front row, the driver of the number 52 from Santa Rosa, California, that's James Eden, Joe Pike.
And James seems like he's enjoying himself, so he won't have to do much more before he gets back out for the feature race. Right now we're going into heat number 3, though, with Kendall Tucker starting out on the pole and Nathan Waddell starting in second. Mike Augustine will be on the inside of row 2, and J.D. Brown starts in 4th. Drew Hopkins, P5 for him. Cameron Kaysen will be 6th, and then Loic Bernier will round out your field of 7 cars here for this third heat. These drivers will be competing for a grand prize, let's not forget, of $10,000 plus all the weekly winnings. We heard Terry talking about it before. Race winners as well as podiums do get money, cash, each time they finish well in these races. And a trip to the World of Outlaws World Finals in Charlotte, which we're going to hold the virtual version here pretty soon. And make sure and check the presentation. Make sure not to miss the presentation for the check during the pre-race stage ceremonies, where the driver will actually get handed one of those big checks that you tend to see at these dirt races as well. I've seen those up close and in person. They are pretty cool, and always amazes me how many of them they go through. Some local printing company makes a lot of money off of those.
I mean, if they just wanted to sign one to me, I'm not going to be mad at all. They can just write $1 million on it. You know what? I take 1,000. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll just take the taxes off that 10K. If anybody wants to give it to me, it's up to them. We'll work heat race number 3 here. 8 laps on the board for this one as well. Top 4 as well. Interesting note of a driver that we have not seen yet, and it's very crazy that we have not seen him at all so far. And that we got I haven't seen Laudicer. We haven't seen Blake Majulis yet. How bad would any of these drivers feel going to Heat 4? We haven't seen him outside of Heat 2 in a while. So Blake Majulis struggling here at Lincoln.
Absolutely. And I'm not sure there'd be too many sad drivers to see Majulis that far down, but the green flag is out here, and it looks like Tucker's going to get the whole shot down into turn 1. Waddell's going to follow him. He looks pretty clear. It's the battle for third that is on between Brown and Augustine. Augustine down to the bottom side.
Yeah, and Augustine sails that thing there into the corner, and you see the battle for the transfer spot as well. It's the tightest one we've seen. I thought heat race number 2 was going to be the one that had the most drivers in it that could make some moves, but you saw the contact there between Loic Bernier and Mike Augustine. That slid Augustine out for a second past Kaysen. Now Augustine's back. He got contact up the racetrack. That's Kaysen and Hopkins. They made it into each other, and now look at this fight going on even more. The 74 of Loic Bernier. He wants to make another feature race.
I mean, Augustine has got to be wiping his brow because he was under serious threat for that transfer spot, but now all the 3 behind him have been squabbling so much that they've almost lost touch with it. Here's Kaysen's view. He's fallen down to 6th position, trying to play catch up as he still fights with Hopkins to his inside. But the good news is he's got that desired high line. Look at the front, though. Battle is still on for the lead.
Yeah, he ain't racing on that Georgia clay. The old Peach State native of Dallas, Georgia, Cameron Kaysen, and the number 18. He's got a heck of a view in front of him, and it is absolute barn burner style here at Lincoln with coming to 3 laps to go. You got the fight going on for the transfer spot. Augustine keeping himself in there. Loic Bernier throwing that sucker into the corner like coals on a fire. He's trying to work his way in there. And oh yeah, there's a battle for the lead too. There's Waddell, there's Kendall Tucker, and yeah, there's Brown, there's Augustine, 3 wide.
Nathan really wants to try and sneak that away from it if he can without risking his own race. He's been getting the nose underneath. We're down to 2 to go, so time is running out. This will mean better start positions if he can get in there almost 4 wide and bump into both of them. That's Augustine. This is horrible news for him.
Yeah, not what you wanted to see, but it opened the doors. Unanswered prayers for Lloyd Bernier. He slides his way into the transfer spot, but for Kendall Tucker, put him P3 on the field in the feature. He'll get it done in heat race number 3.
Oh, it's close, but it looks like Bernier and Augustine are just going to sneak through, but barely. There is your finishing order. Tucker, Waddell, Bernier, and Augustine managed to advance to the feature. Brown, Hopkins, Kaysen, unfortunately, just find themselves outside the cut line. And that got frantic at the end there, Terry. It just, I mean, I thought this thing was pretty well settled, but that was almost a little bit of a silly move, I'd say, there for the transfer spot.
No. We got to get you on the whole dirt side of thing. If you're going to race on dirt, you got to have some bumpers and beating and banging. We get it. The racing's hot, but the action has to be hotter. We wanted to see that type of aggression at a lot of these drivers, and we saw that right there with a ton of them. You saw Luc Bernier. He was absolutely ripping it into the corners. That entry was perfect for him, and he gets away with third. Mike Augustine slips back just a little bit. J.D. Brown was there, and we grab our winner of heat race number 3, Kendall Tucker. And Kendall, man, the hot streak continues for you out of Mount Airy, North Carolina. You're going to start third right behind your teammate. How do you get it done here at Lincoln?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to probably, definitely figure something out better than what we had there for the heat. It was just kind of hanging on there, just to hopefully try to get the win there and set us up for the best possible starting spot there for the feature. Just try to give us a chance here to maybe holding on to second here in the points or something. Just hopefully we can compete for another win here tonight and maybe even next week. So, we'll see what happens.
Well, we look forward to potentially talking to you a little bit later on. Still in the fight for the championship, the driver of the number 00, Kendall Tucker.
Yeah, and Kendall, you heard him. He wants that second place in the championship because it's worth a lot more. But Logan Rumsey is going to challenge him for it. He's going to start from the pole on this one. Tristan Lattiser is going to be starting in second next to him. Then it's Jesse Wall in the third spot. Robbie Buchanan will be in P4, followed by Blake Majulis, surprisingly far down, starting from 5th in this one. Chase Hardy is P6, and Chase Barbara will be in the 7th spot. So looks like we'll head out for a couple of pace laps here pretty soon. We've gotten 3 heats, and Terry, what have you taken out of this in this narrow track so far?
Oh, a ton of desperation and a ton of craziness has went on from heat 2, heat 3, but what better way to start your iRacing career than to log on right now? Well, not while you're watching. Do it after you're watching this one. iRacing.com. 40% off our new members because iRacing loves us so much that they give us some sweet deals. Head on over, come race dirt with us. And by the way, Joe Peak, craziest part about it, if you want to put a face to a name, a face to the driver, to the team, to all of these beautiful paint schemes, iRacing.com/WOLM, and you can learn everything from point standings to prizes to, well, just any fact you want to know.
Absolutely. There's a lot of accessibility to the drivers and the various championship series here on iRacing. That's one awesome thing that they do for sure. But right now, Rumsey's not worried about trying to please the fans, except for maybe give them a good race. He wants to please himself with a win as Logan Rumsey gets a great run, and it's a battle for second as Lattiser is going to try and hold that outside line with Jesse Wall. Oh, slips up and gets some help. Now he gets banged around and into the outside wall. Top 2 are running away with it.
Yeah, but don't look now. Majulis actually caused that whole little kerfuffle that happened a little bit further back for that 3rd place position where he kind of sailed it in there. And I don't think that Wall had as much control as he wanted to admit of that car whenever he bounced off of Tristan Lattiser, fell back a little bit. Now he's back there with Chase Hardy fighting for the last place position as Chase Barbara, Robbie Buchanan Jr., Blake Majulis trying to fight it out for that transfer spot. But oh yeah, top 2, Lattiser, Logan Rumsey pulling away with this thing. And look at Rumsey, look at that line he's running around this racetrack. He's dang near kissing the wall every lap.
Yeah, certainly likes that high side, and it's been steadily moving up as the cushion just raises up. And meanwhile, side by side here between Buchanan and Chase. Chase on the 23 on the bottom side. We ride on board with Jesse Wall, watching the battle in front of them. This is for that transfer position. They need to finish fourth to automatically get through and make their night that much easier. A little bit of tipping off of one another once again. They're getting mighty close.
Well, and Jesse Wall's trying to do something that the entire state of South Carolina couldn't do, and that's win at something. And it's the same thing Evan C. trying to do, both of them from Chesney, South Carolina, and that's win something for that state. He's working his way. He's currently sitting last, had a little bit of an issue. We'll see what he does in the last chance showdown. Now you look at this fight. There's Chase Barbara. He goes underneath, goes side by side with Robbie Buchanan Jr. for that transfer spot. This is where we'll keep our eyes. White flags coming in the air.
You can send your hate mail to terryradford@gmail.com, but as we come around, we're 1-2. Nice slide job there from Majulis, getting in front of Lattiser, trying to take away that second place. Ahead of them all, though, Rumsey just runs away with it. Second's going to be tight. Looks like Majulis ahead of Lattiser, and Buchanan will get that transfer position in fourth. Nicely done. He fought hard for that one. There is your results. Rumsey, Majulis, Lattiser, and Buchanan. Barbara, Hardy, and Wall will have to do some more work to find themselves in the big show a little bit later on. Now, let's head to a quick commercial. Don't go away, though. We've got more racing coming after this.
You say you can't wait to get to the track to pick up the latest World of Outlaws gear? Slide on over to worldofoutlaws.com to get your NOS energy drink, sprint cars, and Case late model hats, decals, hoodies, and other great souvenirs. Buy $50 worth of merchandise and get free shipping anywhere in the continental United States. Why stand in line? Buy your Outlaw gear online. Visit the Outlaw General Store online today at worldofoutlaws.com.
The World of Outlaws ButtKicker Late Model Series is brought to you by ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Pick up your ButtKicker today at thebuttkicker.com. And by World of Outlaws Dirt Racing. Available on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. Drive like an outlaw.
Well, Lincoln Speedway may have given us all 4 heats, but let's talk the last of those winners, Logan Rumsey, as Terry has caught up with him.
You're doing a great job, Logan Rumsey. You won this heat, and you've done an absolute tear here. What are you going to do starting from the 4th place position tonight?
Yeah, I felt really good there in the heat race. I wish I would qualify a little bit better, but we'll take what we can get, and starting 4th here. We should be pretty good.
All right, well, best of luck here tonight. That's the driver of the 41 from Manchester, Pennsylvania, Logan Rumsey.
And that's going to take us to the last chance showdown races, and this is going to be the first of them as Dylan Wilson will start from the pole as J.D. Brown will be to his outside. Only the top 2 will get through, so they're sitting pretty right now. Brett Caudill will start from 3rd and Drew Hopkins 4th as Peyton Stevenson will begin from P5, Cameron Case in 6th, and Blake Murray in 7th here for this last chance showdown. But so far, Terry, I'd say we've seen that it's possible to pass, but we've talked about it. It's a bit of a narrow track. It looks like that track position is pretty handy.
Yeah, you've had a lot of drivers have to really sail the thing into the corner, and that was the biggest key that I was looking for coming into this race, is what type of track we were going to see, what type of tire was we going to see. Everybody was, hyped up about it all the way from I-55 when the news kind of broke that we were going to see the update with the tires and the track dynamic and a little bit more moisture in the track, and it wasn't going to wear as quick. I think we're seeing tonight exactly why iRacing made the changes they did, because this has been a wonderful track. I mean, this has been phenomenal racing. Look at it now. I mean, the way that it has smoothed out. You see some grooves in the corner where they've really been tearing it up. It's rubbered in just a little bit, but look, it looks like it has carried moisture. It has looked what we thought it would do. And reading all the release notes, reading everything from the forums, this is what the dirt racing community was looking for. I'm glad that they got it, because going into next week at the dirt track at Charlotte for the season finale and the championship race, they're really going to see a different style of racing. I think Tim Terry and myself are in for an absolute treat, along with the rest of the fans, because this is the type of racing we wanted to see all the time. And you see them searching for moisture. That's what we wanted. That's what the dirt guys love to see. They're riding that cushion as much as they can to put some cool into those tires.
At my time both working in virtual and real dirt racing, I can tell you the fans are passionate, and if there's only one group of people that are maybe as picky as they are, and that is iRacing themselves. They want to make sure to get this right. Fantastic job and helping get this together and try and make those little tweaks that they need to try and get it that much closer to the real thing. Here we go. Green flag is out. Dylan Wilson with a very good start. Brown, though, finds himself threatened by Caudill. Remember, it's the top two that get through. It's a little bit longer of a race. Caudill, though, doesn't get the run off the corner. He falls back to third.
Yeah, he falls back just a little bit, but you see Drew Hopkins, he's working his way here. All we care about is the top two here this afternoon. And right now it's Dylan Wilson and J.D. Brown that hold that spot. They go all the way up to the top. They get to that cushion. You see the battle going on here. Hopkins wants to get around Brett Caudill, but I think they're going to have to see some racing up there from the top two of the 80 and the 14 before they really start to close that gap and work that bridge.
Looking good right now for J.D. and Dylan. But we'll see if Brett is able to try and reach back up and make a threat to either of them. He does not want this night to end. He wants to try and make sure that it carries on through, as the 157 of Hopkins just clattering up against the wall. They're allowed to do that, but I wouldn't want to wear out the car too much in this situation.
Yeah, and you go on board with Peyton Stevenson from Jackson, Georgia, in the number 91. He's kind of hoping for just a little bit more up here. The top two, they're starting to work up the top. They're starting to ride that cushion just a little bit more, go all the way up there, trying to see what their cars are going to do. I mean, they made it to the last chance showdown. The feature race, they're going to start in the back. I think they're going to have a lot of challenges getting around this racetrack. If you go a little further back, we're about to see a three-wide fight. That's between Hopkins, Stevenson, and Cameron Kaysen for that number 4th place position. Top three starting to pull away just a little bit, and the top two are definitely sailed away.
Yeah, Cameron's trying his hardest. He's actually cut down to the very bottom, looking at that low line. Wonder if he thinks there might be just a little bit of moisture down there compared to look at how wide the blue groove has gotten there in the middle of the track. But Wilson and Brown basically cruising up at the front, being seen little looks from that 14. Now, you said, the dirt racers will want to race here and get on it, but if you're JD, do you just consolidate and bring it home since you're going to get through?
Yeah, no, I mean, the biggest key is momentum, and if he can go up here and get this win from Dylan Wilson, while it's just a last chance showdown win, but it builds some confidence, like, okay, I can make a pass on the bottom. You see him starting, he's not catfishing, he's not going all the way down there like Logan Rumsey was, but you go on board here with the rear view from Dylan Wilson from Bakersfield, California, home of Kevin Harvick, of course, but white flags in the air. I don't see J.D. Brown making this move, trying to mess both of their runs up.
Wilson going to win it as Brown advances from second. Then the rest of them get to park it, unfortunately. So there's your finishing results. As I mentioned, Wilson and Brown, Caudill, Hopkins, Stevenson, and Kaysen say goodbye for the night, unfortunately. Now, in the meantime, Terry, one of your favorites, one of the great games released by iRacing recently.
I would say it is the best game other than iRacing itself, which is a simulator for all of you people out there in the chat in the iRacing world. If you want to be a part of the best on console, Xbox, and PlayStation platforms alike, head on over to worldofoutlaw.game.com. By the way, one of our newest tracks that was introduced into this one was Lincoln Speedway that you see right here. Same physics as iRacing, built by iRacing. Great career mode. All the 2023 Platinum drivers, the Extreme Midgets Series presented by Toyota, the Chili Bowl, Lernerville, the 2023 NOS Energy Sprint Car Series, and Case Construction Late Model Series with the paint schemes. Tear-offs, career mode, championship, multiplayer, quick race, you name it. All 6 series, 2 DLCs. Hey, guess what? 25 players as well. WorldOfOutlawsGames.com for all of your World of Outlaw needs.
Very, very cool stuff. Been watching them work on that for quite some time, and when it came out, certainly brightened our eyes quite a bit. Now, we've got the next set of cars gridded up, and our last chance showdown, the last of the last chance showdowns, getting ready to take part. And Jeremy Steele going to be starting on the top of that one. Chase Barbara will be in second, as Caden Honeycutt will start from third. First one outside of that cut line at the start. Chase Hardy will be P4, and Logan Herbert will be fifth. Then you've got Jesse Wall sixth, and Tucker Elkins seventh. 7 cars vying for 2 positions. Not everybody's going to be making it here, Terry. I anticipate this is going to be desperation time for some of these drivers.
Absolutely, and you think of the driver that's sitting in third. We watched him in his heat race really be able to drive it into the corners. He was one of the most aggressive drivers. But look at this racetrack. Just look here. They've worked this track in quite a bit. I mean, this is just phenomenal. I truly cannot wait for next week at Charlotte. While it is our last event, and it's going to make me really sad until we get to the next season of this, but this is what we've waited for, and it was a really good update for iRacing. And man, it's been an honor and a privilege to be a part of this series and watch it grow, and I cannot wait to see what next season brings for this thing.
Yeah, on pavement racing, you want that rubber all laid down, but here in the dirt, drivers are going to be trying to avoid all of that, and it is spread extremely wide across the corner entries. So it's going to be difficult to try and find speed on the way in. On the way out, it's a bit of a different story, as you can see. Now, as we said, we're going to be heading off to the feature where it will be a lot more laps, but for now, just 10 to try and make it into that 50-lap main race here, as Jeremy Steele leads them down the back stretch. Going to try and line himself up. Watch for him to go a little bit high here. And looking underneath, that was the 10 of Honeycutt there. Trying to get a little sneaky, but did not get the launch because of it. Decent start for the 22. Slides it in all the way up to the top. Honeycutt gets a little hit from Chase.
I tried to tell you to look out for P3, and sure enough, before we even got the green flag from Barney, he was already on it. You see it here, 3 wide for third, but third doesn't mean anything in this one. Second and first are the only 2 these drivers care about at this moment, and this is what Chase Barbara and Steele want to see. They want to see those drivers 3 wide, 4 wide for that 3rd place spot. Right now, Caden Honeycutt's got it for a second. Oh, little contact for the lead, and there we go. And check this out. Our iRacing guys start to get a little fancy on us.
Getting the rotating camera on the onboard here so you can see all the action. Caden Honeycutt's running the bottom, and actually pretty decently here. He was making inroads, but it looks like it's gone away a little bit, and he's switched up to the middle lane. Look at Barbara, though, trying to challenge Steele for the top spot. He's got to be careful. Hardy's right there.
Yeah, you got a ton of drivers sitting right on top of each other. And if you're Chase Hardy, he's been working that outside lane. He's kind of migrated right behind him, trying to find just a little bit of a groove as Caden Honeycutt comes in and throws a little body slam on him. Barbara works his way back up behind Jeremy Steele in that 22. You got a little slider getting thrown back there, but it's not going to work. 3 cars under a blanket. We'll see what it does. Here comes Barbara. He tried to make it, not going to make it work that time.
No, he does. He does get through, and now Jeremy Steele has been slotted down to the 3rd and gets hit and turned around. Up into the side goes Herbert. Oh my goodness. So Barbara is going to be your new leader. Hardy is now in the advancing position.
And that's an absolute heartbreaker there for Jeremy Steele. Just a small little checkup. That's all it was. I thought he wasn't going to get clear. Chase Barber was not going to clear him there. and just a momentary hesitation there for the 22, and he gets absolutely demolished by the 6 of Logan Herbert. They're both out of the race, out of the show. They're going to watch this on all of the major platforms iRacing streamed, and Chase Barber said, thanks, dog. I'm going to go win this last chance showdown.
Absolutely will, because going to be getting the white flag next time by. And Hardy's also thanking them too, because he was in that 3rd position. That basically put it on a silver platter for the number 99. So far, Honeycutt's going to try and maybe send a slider in, but not quite there. The eNASCAR driver is going to have to try again later as they now come through 3 and 4. Chase Barbara going to get a bit of a surprise win ahead of Chase Hardy, and it's a pair of chases that make the chase down into the last race as Honeycutt is now out. So there is your last chance showdown as Barbara and Hardy going through. Honeycutt, Elkins, Wall, Steele, and Herbert are done. And boy, that was quite a thriller for the last chance showdown. You couldn't have asked for any better. And I do believe we're going to be heading off to a quick commercial before we come back for the big show, the feature.
This November, dirt racing's most celebrated stars align in an electrifying spectacle that's bigger than ever. The World of Outlaws World Finals. All dirt roads lead to Charlotte as World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars, World of Outlaws Case Construction Equipment Late Models, and Super Dirt Car Big Block Modifieds collide. Get your tickets now. 4-day seat packages at charlottemotorspeedway.com. The World of Outlaws World Finals, November 1st through the 4th at the Dirt Track at Charlotte. Be there.
The World of Outlaws ButtKicker Late Model Series is brought to you by ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Pick up your ButtKicker today at thebuttkicker.com. And by World of Outlaws Dirt Racing. Available on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. Drive like an outlaw.
So for those who missed out on the racing from before, here you can see how things have started out so far. And it wasn't as wild for all of them. Some of them a little bit more straightforward than others. But once we got to the 4th heat, things absolutely exploded. And Terry, we kept saying it was a tight track, and it seems when it all came down to it, drivers are going to fight hard and start to get the elbows out here. So wonder what the feature is going to be like.
Well, I try to say this every week. You got to fight for your right to party. And a lot of these drivers who made it to this feature round, they knew how to party, and they knew how to party hard. They got their way here for these 50 laps that we're going to see. It was a lot of tight racing through all 4 heats and our last chance showdowns. And we look here again at Lincoln Speedway. This has put on phenomenal racing from start to finish here on iRacing. They always say this is where the action is the attraction. 3/8 of a mile, built in 1952, well before my time. And I can't make this up, that it literally fits 6,200 people, which is a lot more than who lives currently in Abbottstown, Pennsylvania, because it ain't even 900. So I'm just throwing that out there for the people at PA.
Yeah, it probably significantly adds to the size of the town. I went and looked at the map, and Yeah, it's. I imagine it's quite flooded. So here you go. This is our feature: 50 laps that they're going to be running, and the big thing is they will have cautions, but caution laps won't count. For the starting grid, though, Evan C. is going to be on the pole. Could maybe try and wrap it up tonight as James Eden will start. Edens will start next to him to see what he can do to stop that. Kendall Tucker will be in P3, along with Logan Rumsey, who's going to be another that's going to try and see if he can keep Evan on his toes and make this go to the end. Damian Kiefer will be starting from 5th as Tanner Tomasi will be P6. Then you've got Nathan Waddell in at 7th and Blake Majulis in the 8th position. Desmond Busby will begin from P9, and then the outside of row 5 sees Dylan Yeager. Loic Bernier will be in 11th, and Tristan Lattiser will be in 12th. A few more to go here with our next slide as Talon Willis will be starting 13th, Colton Zimmer P14, Mike Augustine there in 15th will be flanked by Robbie Buchanan Jr., Dylan Wilson will be 17th, Chase Barbara 18th, JD Brown and Chase Hardy rounding them out, the last two to manage to sneak through into the main race. So they're gridded up, they're ready to go, but before the most we saw was 8 cars inside a race. You put 20 of them out there, it's going to be frantic, and they're all fighting for that $10,000. Well, maybe not all of them at this stage, but they're all hoping to be earning some cash as well as a trip to the World of Outlaws World Finals in Charlotte. They'll get a check presented to them. And as well as, I didn't mention this before, they actually get a physical trophy. And this is not a rinky-dink little trophy. iRacing does not go little on this. You get a massive trophy to take home, and that is yours forever.
iRacing always goes big or goes home, and they always go big. That's why I love iRacing. I'll promote it to anybody out there that'll listen, that this is the greatest simulator of all time. You just see the graphics, you see the camera work that's here, you see the physics in this game, and nobody can tell me that if they do race it once, that they don't enjoy the camaraderie, they don't enjoy the brotherhood, they don't enjoy everything about this. We got to see 50 laps of it here this afternoon. Joe Peak, strap on in, son. You're in for a whale of a time.
Getting ready for the green for the race that everybody's been fighting for here at Lincoln Speedway. And there it is. Green flag is out. Evan C. gets a good launch over James Eden. Takes it into the lead down into turn 1. All 20 cars chucking it in. Are we going to make it out the other side? No.
No, we're not. One went around instantaneously into the corner. And I'm not a bet man, but I would bet that they had a little help on that one, as that just looked like a lot of franticness into the corner.
I think it was Damian Kiefer that got tipped around a little bit. Didn't see who got into him. I think we've got a replay on it here, Terry, so let's see if we can identify the culprit. But I was able to see a little bit of help, like you said.
Just a smidge. Just a smidge.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that sends him around enough. Now, the good news is there was no damage on the car for Damian, so and the caution laps don't count on this one, so we're restarting back exactly where we were. We're still on lap 1. I'm pretty sure that he's going to be pretty eager to maybe find out who that was that made the contact and get back up to that car.
Oh no, Damian Kiefer, he doesn't. He's not a revenge type of guy. Wink, wink. It just adds a little drama into the inside of this one, Mr. Peak. We get to have a little fun watching him drive through this field. We talked about how hard it has been to pass here this afternoon. The track did not get the rework. It is authentic from what we saw from our last chance showdowns. It's authentic from what we saw from our heat. So these drivers are going to have to search. They're going to have to find a new groove like Emperor and just move their way around, kind of understand what the different track states are going to be. And I think that's what's going to make it interesting. If you win this one, Joe, you've earned it tonight.
Absolutely. As someone who's had to wait for the real track to get worked back into shape, I'm very glad that we didn't have to wait here in the virtual world as C takes the green flag once again. Second place to Tucker, who slides up high. 52's going to try and cut low, almost going 4 wide for second for a brief moment. Eden's going to try and get himself involved here. Once again, way up high there for Tucker, but he gets the momentum off the corner.
You got side-by-side for second, side-by-side for fourth. Rumsey, Tomasi, Edens, Tucker fighting it out. Majula trying to work his way with a little bit of a nose there. We will go 3 wide right here into turns number 3. And on the bottom, Tanner Tomasi makes a little contact with the 52 of James Edens, but does not move him too much out of the groove. This is going to be just a cat fight to who can get track positions, and the only person that's loving to see what's in his rearview mirror is the driver from Chesney, South Carolina, M&C, the points leader, who wants to continuously lead his teammate of Kendall Tucker until the very end, because if he gets into that, man, he's going to be in for a whale of a time.
Yeah, Evan is just cruising up at the front right now. Last thing he'll want is a caution, but it's been cleaner since that initial start, although it hasn't been shy of action. Now the 3 wide finally goes away in that battle for third. It was going around for multiple laps, and the one to come ahead is Rumsey.
Yeah, Rumsey's doing a good job, kind of just staying right behind Kendall Tucker in that third place position. They've settled it out now. They were 3 wide, tried to take it 4 wide for a few moments, but everybody's starting to migrate their way up to that wall. Nobody's really wanting to go down, work that very, very low lane, other than the 52 and the 127 of Majulis, trying to test the waters to see how much they can get away with here. And yeah, I think when we settle this out, cautions are going to be aplenty, as you see some contact there between the 80 and the 92.
Well, we made it 8 laps in, so hopefully this is a sign we won't have too many cautions as we watch the 80 chuck it down to the bottom. Right now, fighting with the 92 of Lattiser. They're up on the high side as he tries to use that momentum we've seen work so many times. Gets the launch off the corner, but now almost looks like that blue groove goes all the way down the straightaways as well.
Yeah, and a couple of these drivers are fighting to keep themselves inside the cutoff point. They're racing for their 2024 season. So there's a lot on the line through this entire field, from first all the way to last. And a lot of the drivers who missed this field are going to be kicking themselves going into the dirt track at Charlotte next week, going, man, I had a great opportunity right here at Lincoln to get one more spot, and I missed out on it by a 1/10 or 2/10 of a second. But you see a lot of fights going on. You saw the battle for 12th. You see the battle for 8th as well. Dylan Yeager leads Busby, Bernier, and Willis. Those two have kind of tapered off a little bit into the distance, but they closed back in here because Busby had to back out of it so he didn't make contact with Dylan Yeager. We're going to see it side by side here for that battle for 8th.
Yeah, you mentioned the drivers trying to get through the cut line. Tomasi's one of those. He currently sits in 5th, so he's doing what he needs to do. Is this battle between Yeager and Busby right now going to Yeager up on the top side, trying to ride that cushion all the way around up against the wall. Busby can't get the launch, but it's shorter down at the bottom. He's still at least hanging on.
Pay attention when they go back into turns 1 and 2. You kind of see it here in 3 and 4. The cushion's pushed all the way up to the wall. Like, you are almost tail happy when you get up there. You see Logan Rumsey starting to work his way to the bottom. He's getting back down there, trying to catfish. He gets that run off the exit of the corner. He'll drag race it down to the line. Not going to get the spot this time, but look at the track widening itself out. There's going to get narrow and narrower around this racetrack, and I think you're going to have to see a little bit more pushing and shoving for somebody to make these passes, as it has migrated. You're going to be almost wall right before it's all said and done.
Poor Chase Hardy is going to hope for a caution here because he got turned into a spin. He's at the very back now as we continue to watch this battle now for second place between Rumsey and Tucker. Rumsey, the one fishing on the bottom, seeing if he can maybe take that away as we ride from the perspective of James Eden. And there you can see, bottom line, is getting a fair bit of grip. The 41's making great use of it.
Yes, he is. I mean, Logan Rumsey, he's one of the most talented drivers we have in this field. And a lot of these drivers, we're seeing new drivers up here inside this top 10 here at Lincoln. That update helped a lot of these drivers go, man, this is what I've been waiting for. And I'm not saying they had an excuse in the first few weeks of the series, but this was like a new breath of fresh air breathed into this dirt series, where now you're starting to build confidence. When you practice throughout the week with your team, you're like, man, this track felt a whole lot different than it was when I practiced on it 2 months ago. And you're seeing it here. You saw the battle back there behind them with Edens and Tomasi. You're seeing this fight for second, and they're also keeping M&C within about a half a second of him. So they're not letting him pull away. They're keeping him on his toes.
And I think Tucker is ready to be done with this battle because Rumsey's been carrying it on now for many, many laps. He probably was thinking, Highline's supposed to be quicker around here. What is going on? The 41 hanging on tight, but now he drifted up to the Highline briefly, and he's back to the bottom. In the meantime, let's listen to how it sounds with these great late models. Love the sights and sounds of super late model racing here on iRacing. Kendall Tucker, though, finds himself back in third as Logan Rumsey has now managed to get ahead of him and also has a threat from behind in the form of James Eden as well. James Eden's as they now fight for that podium position. 3 wide between them is Tomasi, also hoping to get a few more spots. Remember, he's below the cut line right now. He needs every point he can get.
Yeah, but look up front. Look right there. You see it at the top of the screen. Battle for that race lead. Logan Rumsey's also trying to find Evan C. He worked his way up there. It was about 0.4 of a second, but separated those two when he got around Kendall Tucker. Now he's fighting for this lead. You still see that fight going on there between Edens and Tanner Tomasi. That has been a fight that has been one of the most consistent things we've seen all race long. Unlike the track, that has been an ever-changing thing. And here's something that I was about to talk about. You see the live points. The one thing Kendall Tucker wants to see at this moment is Logan Rumsey get around his teammate, the 33 of Evan C. I know they're probably preaching at Majula C Speed Shop. Hey, I don't care if I win it or you win it. I just want the team to win it. But deep down, I would imagine that Kendall Tucker's going, me to tell me that I could beat him, that I could win this championship and get it done. He got points for qualifying as the 33 did, but if you're them, you want it. Did you see 3 wide again?
Not only that, but the lead changed as Rumsey pulled a slider on C and did manage to get by. He knows he has nothing left to lose. Rumsey's still got a shot at this championship, but he's going to fight hard to see if he can at least make some inroads on that. He is up to the top spot. C's still fighting him for it, but now he's had to give up as it's now 3 wide. Oh no, he gets to the side of Rumsey. Rumsey's going to save it, doesn't lose the lead, and it's almost a 4-way battle for second now.
Well, and I don't want to throw this all the way back to Knoxville, Iowa, because that right there could have potentially been payback if the 33 would have got the 41 turned around there, because that's how Logan Rumsey won that race at Knoxville. He made contact. Evan C. felt like he raced him dirty, got him up out of the groove, slowed him down, took the race win away, and I'm sure in the back of Evan C.'s mind was, the 41's in front of me for the race win. 15 laps to go. Let me get him done. And we'll take a look at the replay here as Evan C. He's going to fall to third here.
So there you see how he gets it done. And you're right, he is down in the third position now as the 52 of James Eden starting to sneak by. But I have to say, yeah, just a perfect slider there. I wonder if C used up his stuff a little too early.
Yeah, I mean, he's starting to fall back, and this is not, he made contact. Oh no, Evan C's in the wall. That's championship implications, and caution flag number 2 waves, and Blake Majulis was in it too.
And C has too much damage to continue. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. Tucker and Rumsey could yet still make this a fight when we go to Charlotte. Tucker is just grinning from ear to ear after that one, I'm sure.
Well, not Tim Terry. He's going to come back next week for the dirt track at Charlotte and go, what happened? And we'll take a look at the replay. Tim, if you're watching, Timmy, buddy, we got a fight on our hands at Charlotte as him and Tanner Tomasi, Evan C makes contact. Tomasi just cleared himself, and around the 33 goes, and Blake Majulis goes right in there and just catches him. Everybody else misses. Too much damage for the 33. Off the racetrack he goes, and major championship implications here at Lincoln Speedway. This changes everything, Joe.
You know, the other thing it does for poor Blake Majulis is cause him a heap of damage on the car. Now, some of it is body work, so it's just visual, but I have to imagine the car is probably not going to be handling perfectly, and I think he's now at the back of the field because of that. So disastrous corner for that duo of C and Majulis as we go side by side. We're getting ready to restart here, and things have been thrown for a loop. We only have 13 laps to go. Can Rumsey bring this home? He's third in the points and needs a mountain to climb to try and catch up to Evan C. The 57 next to him of James Eden, thinking maybe he could snatch this win away as well as the green flag is out. No, James is very slow on the start. Here comes Tomasi.
And Tanner Tomasi, he wants this win, and Logan Rumsey gets it done off the initial start. And now you see the 09 fighting his way into this picture as well. While he's not in the championship fight, Kendall Tucker must be smiling ear to ear along with Logan Rumsey. He's like, hey, this is a great opportunity to put yourself in the best spot possible to go into next week and have a shot to win this championship. We'll see those points as soon as this one's over. The only part is that Chase Hardy, he was out early, so it'll be a 19th place finish for the 33 of Evan C.
Here's the thing, though. There was only 5 points difference between Tucker and Rumsey coming into this race. Right now, Tucker is well behind Rumsey by more than 5 points if they finish as they are. So he could find himself overtaken by that number 41 as he continues to fight with Tomasi, who, like I said, is fighting for his chance to automatically be entered into the competition for 2024. And the better he can finish, the more farther up ahead of that cut line he's going to go. The laps are dwindling down, and Tomasi's still giving a lot of hassle to Logan.
Well, and you got to think here for a second, when Logan Rumsey made the pass on Evan C, he ran the bottom. He was all the way down up against the guardrail. He had the opportunity to pass him 2 laps in a row. It has been Tanner Tomasi who was faster. But take a look at the live points here. It's 42 and 46 from Rumsey and Tucker. The max points you could get in a race, Joe Peak, 72. So a big opportunity for those two drivers next week. And this race isn't over. It's not over. I don't want to say it's over just yet. But this is great. And for Evan, what you want to see, Tanner Tomasi go up here and play spoiler and get this win from the 41.
Well, and this also means that there's greater chances for that possible victory because we've already seen how it can be turned on its head. But right now, Tomasi, he's not worried about the overall championship. He wants this win. He wants to just worry about his own points. Logan Rumsey's fight does not matter to him, and he's fighting him hard for it. He keeps getting inside of him. What does he need to do, Terry, to try and snatch this win away?
I'm not going to say it, but a little contact never hurt anybody. He fell off a little bit right there, but look at this run. He's going to get off the exit of the corner. He'll get to the quarter panel, and then he'll slide off just a little bit. I'm not sure Tanner Tomasi is going to work him hard, but he makes contact there. If he gets to the opportunity for the slide job, I think he's just setting him up for this moment. He'll go to that middle groove, work his way back down to the bottom. He'll get right to that back bumper. 2 laps to go. We'll see who gets it done.
Rumsey still leading. He's got 2 to go here. Penultimate lap is the 09 still poking his nose. Now tries to go up to the high side a little bit, cut back to the bottom. See if he can get the launch off the corner. White flag from Barney as they come around for the final lap. Will he try and shove him out of the way? He gets right up there, but he doesn't push him, doesn't lean on him. He keeps it clean. Rumsey has 1 more corner to go. Sends it in early to try and cover off a dive to the inside. And as he crosses the line, Logan Rumsey will win the round at Lincoln.
What an incredible race. And for all the drivers that was involved in that incident, it was a crazy topsy-turvy race, and we kind of thought this 2 weeks ago at Eldora that you were going to see something totally different here at Lincoln. Logan Rumsey getting a second win of the season, that's massive for him. Keeps him in the championship fight, allows us a great battle heading into it, and taking a look at these results, Rumsey getting it done. Tanner Tomasi finished in second, James Eden third. We'll talk to all three of those drivers here with Kendall Tucker, J.D. Brown, Dylan Yeager, Nathan Waddell, Desmond Busby, Mike Augustine, and Chase Barber, your top 10, Joe.
Yeah, from there on down, Wilson, Kiefer, Bernier, Willis, Buchanan, Zimmer, Lattiser, Majulis, and C was not for Cookie tonight, unfortunately. 19th for Evan, unfortunately, and Chase Hardy rounds it out, being one of the first involved in an accident early in the race. Looks like, I believe, we've got Logan Rumsey ready to talk to us. Terry, are you taking this one as well?
Yeah, we'll talk to our race winner here, and Logan Rumsey, you're back in the championship fight. I think that's the biggest story coming out of this one. Congratulations on the win. You learned something there. You started running the bottom just a little bit more before anybody else would. What did you learn in the practice session you ran that the bottom was going to be the way to go?
Yeah, we have a league race we run on Sundays to practice for this, and I was running the same line like that, and I felt really good, and just loaded up the same setup, and it was just ripping tonight. I think Tanner was a little bit faster, but we still held on for the win. Did it clean this time too, so that's great.
Well, you had a little you had a good slide job there on Evan C, and then pandemonium broke loose. Did in the back of your mind any of your teammates go, hey, by the way, he got involved in an incident and you're back in the fight for the championship head next week to Charlotte?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he was already really far ahead, so it definitely helped a little bit, but we're still pretty far out of it.
Well, we'll see you next week at Charlotte, and best of luck in this fight. That's Logan Rumsey getting it done here at Lincoln Speedway.
Run.
Looks like we've got Tanner with us now as well. Tanner, second place, so close to it. But I was talking about it during the broadcast that you were close to that cut line for next season. Were you thinking about that during this race, thinking I needed a good result?
Honestly, no. I was thinking about the money spots. I've missed, I think, 2 or 3 races due to real racing, so I didn't plan on getting any money for the points, so I just figured I'd run these free money races every Monday, and it went pretty good for us.
It did indeed. Talk about the end, though. You were getting close to the bottom. Did the thought ever cross your mind to kind of lean on Logan a little bit, or did you want to keep it clean?
Oh, no, I definitely thought about it every lap. Since that restart, I thought about it. But, I have enough respect for Logan, and Rumsey has enough respect for me that I know I could give him a little tap, but I'm not going to just clear him out. He's running for points. I'm not. So, I wanted us to have a great finish and just see who was better at the end.
Well, like you said, one more of these to go. You're going to get some more cash when we head off to Charlotte?
Man, I'm going to try to win that one. I'm a big fan of Charlotte. I have so much fun just testing there, just running laps and trying stuff. So, we'll see. I'll put the work in again. I'd like to thank you guys for everything. iRacing for everything they do for us to give us this Pro Series, and I know it's not easy for them to do this. Everybody over at Speed Ranch, like I said, you guys for the broadcast. Congrats to Logan. There's just countless people at Speed Ranch I need to thank. Dirty South, Cocky Floyd Consulting, Shock iRacing Performance, Ledbetter Performance, Bill Miller, just everybody. Gay Stevens for the wraps.
That was Tanner Tomasi finishing second here today, as I believe Terry's caught up with third place finisher James Edens.
Well, James, this is your second third-place finish of the 2023 campaign. How much fun did you have tonight? And also, how much did the track kind of change as the race progressed?
Yeah, it was really fun. The track was, really racy out there, actually. So that was always a good thing. Yeah, it seemed like the top was, the place to be early. And then, we kind of moved down to the middle bottom there, towards probably about halfway. And it really got racy. And, we were able to use that bottom to get by, Kendall and Evan there. So, overall it was a fun race. It was a good race, and I hope it was enjoyable for you guys to watch.
Well, next week, the season finale at Charlotte, you 2 spots away from getting your first win of the season. What's it going to take for the 52 team to go out there and end the season on a high note?
Well, like tonight, I think the restarts hurt us. We kind of lost spots there when we didn't get good starts. So, if we're in a position to be up front, we got to get good starts there and, capitalize on those. And then, maybe just be a little bit better the last 10 laps of the race.
Well, congratulations on your P3 here tonight. James, we'll hopefully talk to you next week. Best of luck.
Hopefully. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir. That's James Eden, driver the number 52, Joe.
And we've got, I believe, our points for the next race. And here is how it sits now. Rumsey up into second. Tucker gets demoted to third. 42 and 46 points behind. They are now the last two eligible to try and beat Evan C. They're going to need some good results. But what we saw tonight really proves that you can't count anything out. You got to fight all the way to the finish. So I'm sure they're going to give it their all and hope that maybe something could happen and they can claim those $10,000. Tomasi, unfortunately, still down in 16th. So didn't quite overtake Buchanan with that second place tonight, but certainly didn't hurt his cause. Next race, as we mentioned, heading off to the dirt track at Charlotte, right across the street, quite literally, from Charlotte Motor Speedway. That'll be Monday, September 18th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Make sure not to miss it. But we will be back for that in a week's time. Myself and Terry, thank you for joining us. And don't forget to sign up for iRacing as always. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.
Dirt Vision is home to the greatest shows on dirt. The only place to watch World of Outlaw sprint cars, the pinnacle of dirt racing. You also get World of Outlaw late models, the Super Dirt Car Series, Extreme Outlaw Midgets, Dirt Car Summer Nationals, and weekly racing at America's premier tracks. See them all with a Dirt Vision Fast Pass. Flexible options allow casual and hardcore fans to live stream races on multiple devices. Sign up now at dirtvision.com or on the Dirt Vision app.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.